General workplace safety. Electricity. Electricity. Most people use some form of electrical equipment every day. It is this familiarity that leads to carelessness with electricity and a disregard for the risks. Examples include overloading electricity outlets, working on electrical equipment while it is still connected to the power supply, using plugs fitted with the wrong fuse, and even using equipment that does not have a fuse plug fitted. Electricity can affect the worker in a number of ways. Burns. Electricity invariably burns, both entry and exit burns, and serious injuries can take a long time to heal. Flash. Electrical flashes are extremely bright and can burn or damage the eyes. Shocks. Electricity passing through the body can affect the heart and kill instantly. Fires. 20% of accidental fires in the workplace are caused by electrical faults. Electricity can affect the heart's electrical impulses and kill instantly. Using electrical equipment safely. Never handle the plug with wet hands. Use electrical equipment in wet conditions. Use electrical equipment unless you have been trained in its use. Overload electrical sockets. Overload extension leads. Don't plug in a combination of appliances that will exceed the maximum current rating for the lead. Attempt repairs unless qualified to do so. Always check the equipment before use. Switch it off before unplugging the machine. Report all faults immediately and remove the equipment from use so no one else can use it and get injured. Turn off the power when servicing electrical equipment. Electrical equipment checks. Electrical cables, flexes, tools and equipment should be regularly checked and faults reported. Portable appliances should be checked periodically, usually annually, by a competent person. A high percentage of faults with electrical equipment can be found by just looking at it. Everyone can play a role in improving safety by making quick visual checks of the equipment they use. Things to look for. Damage to cables, for example cuts and abrasions to the cable covering. Damage to plugs, for example cracked casing or broken pins. Loose cables, for example the outer covering of the cable not being gripped properly by the plug. Signs of overheating, for example burn marks, staining or melted plastic. Bare wires, none should be visible. Coiled extension cables. Make sure coiled extension cables are fully extended when in use. If you notice any of the faults listed, a qualified person should undertake any necessary repairs. Make sure all plugs are correctly fitted with the correct rating of fuse and all the wires are securely gripped in the correct place. Dealing with electric shock. A shock occurs when an electrical current passes through the body. This can interfere with the body's own electrical impulses and may cause the heart or breathing to stop. Burns may be seen where the current enters and exits the body. There may also be deep internal damage which cannot be seen along the path of the current. In the event of someone suffering an electric shock, seek help and do not put yourself at risk. Make sure the contact with the electricity is broken before you touch the casualty. Turn off the power at the mains or unplug the appliance if possible. Do not touch anything that is metal or wet. For high voltage supplies, such as overhead power lines, do not allow anyone within 80 metres of the casualty. Once the power is disconnected safely, someone with first aid knowledge can give first aid. This may involve giving CPR or treating any burns or injuries. take the casualty to hospital for a checkup, even if they have apparently recovered. Call 999 112 for emergency help if the casualty has been unconscious or has electrical burns. For your protection. Electricity is an essential part of our daily lives, and it is easy to forget that it is dangerous. There are a number of ways electrical risk can be reduced. Insulation, to protect the user from contact. Earthing, to provide a contact with earth, reducing the risk of shock. Fuses, strips of metal, usually inside a cartridge, which melt if exposed to excessive current or electrical fault, thus breaking the supply. Circuit breakers, detect excess electric current and stop the supply. As with fuses, they must be correctly rated. Residual current devices, RCD, electronic device to shut off power in the event of a fault. Voltage reduction, using a lower voltage. UK plugs, what fuse to use. Appliance wattage, less than 700 watts. The fuse size, 3 amp. Appliance examples, table lamp or soldering iron. Over 700 watt. Fuse size, 13 amp. Appliance examples, kettle or dishwasher. 4 spaces doesn't always mean 4 plugs. For example, 3 amp plus 5 amp plus 5 amp equals 13 amp. Every electric shock has the potential to kill.